Which proxy is safer and faster, HTTP or SOCKS, and what's the difference? Let's break it down. Let's go. A proxy is a middleman. Think courier. You send a request, it delivers it to the site, and brings the response back. There are different couriers, HTTP and SOCKS. HTTP proxies handle browser website requests, so they can filter, cache, and even rewrite information. HTTP proxies are grouped by anonymity level: transparent, anonymous, and elite. Transparent proxies don't hide that you're on a proxy. Your IP is passed to the site along with your real address. Anonymous proxies don't reveal your real IP, but the site can still tell you're using a proxy. Elite proxies are the stealthiest. They fully mask the fact that a proxy is in use and look like a regular user. SOCKS proxies operate lower in the stack. They pass data for any protocol as is, without inspecting it. Let's look under the hood at both. We'll start with HTTP. The easiest way to show it is with an anti-detect browser and standard residential proxies. In our case, we'll use Octo Browser. First, we'll create a profile and add residential proxies to it.
There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem.
We've added the HTTP proxy, now we test the connection. All set. Let's move on. Open the profile and go to a site that shows request headers. As you can see, the page lists all the headers our proxy passes along. You'll see the OS, browser language, and much more. It's a red flag if you spot headers like forwarded or via. They can tip off anti-bot systems that a proxy is being used, and in the worst case, even leak your real IP address. In our case, we're fine. The proxy isn't giving us away. HTTP proxies are great for web browsing and HTTP/HTTPS scraping. Now let's look at SOCKS proxies using Tor browser as an example. Connect the browser.
Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth.
Let's run an extra connection check. Tor is ready. Traffic goes through a chain of nodes: entry, middle, exit. Let's see which IP is detected. The site sees the Tor exit node's IP, not mine. Here are the 3 nodes for this tab specifically. Our TCP traffic flows through them. I switch the circuit and the exit IP changes, handy for privacy and bypassing blocks. Important to understand, Tor is SOCKS routing over TCP only. UDP, for example, games or live streaming, doesn't go through Tor. Let's recap. HTTP understands the web and headers and can filter and cache. SOCKS is a universal tunnel for different protocols. Now let's tackle the main myths about these proxies. SOCKS is always faster. In reality, it depends on the task, the route, and the server quality. HTTP is unsafe. An unencrypted HTTP proxy does make traffic vulnerable, but if the site uses HTTPS, the data is already protected by TLS and the proxy can't read the request and response body. The only thing the proxy still sees is the site you're connecting to. SOCKS is completely anonymous. If the traffic isn't encrypted, it can be intercepted in transit. What HTTP is good for and what SOCKS is good for. For web scraping and browsing, use HTTP. For games and VoIP, plain SOCKS5 with UDP. And here's a key point. You get maximum anonymity when you combine SOCKS5 and HTTPS. SOCKS5 hides your IP and just forwards traffic, but it doesn't encrypt data by itself. HTTPS on top of that tunnel adds encryption. Your requests and responses are encoded and no one can read the contents. You get double protection. SOCKS5 for anonymity, HTTPS for data security. We've covered how HTTP and SOCKS proxies differ and saw them in an anti-detect browser and in Tor. Now, let's see how it looks without any helper tools. We'll make a few simple requests with curl and Python and compare the results. Here's the idea. We send a request to the service httpbin.org, which returns information about our IP. That lets us check whether traffic goes directly or via a proxy, and which headers get added. It's a simple but visual way to understand how different proxy types work. For example, if we request http:/bin.org/IP, we'll get the IP address the site sees. That's an easy way to tell if we're direct or behind a proxy. And if we open http:/bin.org/headers, we'll see our request headers. With an HTTP proxy, you may see extra lines here, like x forwarded for or via, markers that traffic pass through a proxy. With a SOCKS proxy, there are no such markers. It just relays packets without touching the contents. The key difference is that SOCKS5 can also proxy DNS lookups, so even the domain you're resolving isn't exposed from your own IP. Now, in good old-fashioned, let's run the same thing via a Python script. The script performs the same request I ran manually with curl, one after another. Without a proxy, the site sees my real IP. Through an HTTP proxy, it sees the proxy's IP. Through SOCKS5H, a different proxy IP plus remote DNS, which is more private. I hope this video gave you a clear sense of the differences between HTTP and SOCKS proxies. Don't pick at random. Understand how the tool works, and you'll solve your tasks much better.